Nothing else is running unusually.
It's literally looking through.
Is Windows downloading an update? I see the Windows update icon says it needs an update.
What, this thing?
Yeah, one to the right of that. Or maybe that's it. I can't tell what's... Yeah, that thing.
Your device
Okay, hey, the red went away in OBS.
That's because it just reconnected the stream again.
Oh.
Yeah, when it goes to 0, it stops counting them and restarts it.
Okay, Jimbo says, yay, you're back. You guys are back, says Charlie Studios.
Where?
Right there on Rumble.
Well, you said Jimbo.
Oh, he texted me.
Oh, okay. All right, we're good on Rumble. Yeah, guys, we're just troubleshooting tech problems. It looks to be very stable now.
Yeah? What's that orange? Is that normal?
Yeah, that's just the boot misframes on the boot. Like that happens every time you turn on OBS. That's nothing. It's these guys right here that are the problem child.
Yeah.
Y'all can't see this, but I'm actually pointing on a large TV that's our monitor for the stream while we're streaming. And Tavian can see where I'm...
No more YouTube again? Wait, what? All the other three are fine. Let me check.
Things that we couldn't possibly...
Yeah, we're back on... We're on YouTube.
All right. Well, then we're just going to call this good and play our show.
Yeah. We look to be okay on YouTube.
All right.
Atomic Axe and Windows Administration Workshop, says Charlie Studios.
Oh, for fuck's sake. For real, man. That's very funny. That's funny, dude.
YouTube created a new live, says Prayer Fryer.
Good.
Yeah, that's
good. That's what I wanted it to do. I'm glad of that, too.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
Camera. Y'all can look at my nose hairs again.
Sorry, everybody. That's... I wonder why we don't see any...
Oh, right.
Cool. It's blue.
There's my nose hairs.
Don't show them your nose hairs. We're trying to maintain our audience after all this nonsense.
I'm trying to calm down and stop being angry, all right? Fuck. Countless hours and tweaking everything so that it's perfect. This kind of shit happens. It's frustrating.
All looks pretty good now, though. Careful with that axe, Eugene, says Mad Pogue. That's a great tune right there.
Can I smoke a cigarette in here? I'm joking.
All right. So I think we're ready to do Blackout.
Are we?
We kind of need to. We need to move the show
I
along.
know, man. I know. Let's go.
Show's got to keep on going.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, folks. We're going to play Blackout, and then, as promised, we're going to take just a quick moment to move to the next tune and keep going, and then we'll come back after that second song. So I'll go up here. Okay.
My nose hairs are now on screen
again.
There we go.
There's intermission. I guess we were on intermission that whole time. I don't know. Or lights, anyway. Okay, so sorry, folks. I was just kind of reading some chats. It looks like, yeah, your camera says no. It looks like everything's going to be okay.
Right here, dum-dum.
So, yeah, stream looks good. I think one platform is being pissy, but everything else looks good. So, yeah. Thanks for coming, everyone. We've got one more to do. After this one, we're Atomic Annie. Once again, that's Mal. I'm Tavian. Thanks for sticking with us through the second half of the stream. Now that we got our stuff figured out, we're definitely have to play that first song again. But yeah, if you like what you hear, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the links with your friends. And if you want to donate, you can. Our favorite is Streamlabs. That's streamlabs.com/AtomicAnnieMusic/tip. They take the least off the top. And they take the least off the top, and any tips you make through Streamlabs will appear on screen. Other than that, various other platforms have some tipping options available there as well, and so whichever one you would prefer. Yeah, Daphne says no, the cameras are working, the stream was flowing. Yeah, no, that's cool. I was worried that I think I had my lights set on the intermission lights, because that's not intermission lights, that is intermission lights, and I think I had them set on intermission lights through the whole thing. So too much going on.
That's a lot going on for sure.
But that's all right. That's okay.
We use Streamlabs. Streamlabs is for casting to multiple platforms. Speech burning me.
Yeah.
Bumming Mermaid.
Yes.
That's what Streamlabs is for. But it also takes very little off the top as far as tips go. We're happy to let anybody support any platform they have. We're super grateful. However, if one platform takes 25% and another takes 3%, yeah, musician's gonna say, "Can we have the 3, please?" Yeah, that's what that is.
All right, I need to call up this next tune. What is it? It's 15-2. There it is. Whew. That song made it hot in here.
And thank you, Salty Mermaid, BSD 2000, Charlie. You guys were really digging that one. It was fun to play. It was a surprise that I started to just really gent on the thing. Jada jada John. Jada jada John. That's what I was doing a lot of the A4s in particular, but there was like this callback when I go da 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 da. It was somewhere in there, and I thought it was cool.
Yeah, it's always fun.
When it first happened, I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just keep doing that then.
Thank you, Charlie Studio says that was awesome. Great sound, guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah, but yeah, 4 years, guys.
Yeah,
4 freaking years, man. It's good.
Yeah, and be sure to stay tuned for announcements about when we get Blackout released. That one's gonna be fun. Yeah, I noticed, Daphne, you said Blackout is shorter this week. Yeah, that was an edited down. That's kind of final length of what Blackout is. That's the radio edit.
Yeah. And there were so many distractions on my end on that radio performance. We'll have to do it again in the future.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun to do a quick little 7-minute one and then move right on to something else.
Yeah, we ran through it before the show and I did a lot better that
time. Well, we didn't have
14 things distracting me.
Exactly. All right. Well, oh goodness, we should get on with this third one. It's after 10. All right, folks, we're going to get on with this third one. It's after 10. All right, you ready, Mal?
I'm not sure I understand.
Shut up, Siri.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that, Prairie Fire. Yeah, the first part of a stream when it gets disconnected on Pill just goes bye-bye, right? That's always been the case. Not the first time this has happened. It is the first time I think I had to reboot everything. And well, no, not the first time, but it's very rare, once a year or something like that. So it's kind of annoying. But all right, yeah.
Oh, thank you, Salty Mermaid. Says they'll donate through there. Appreciate that.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think I have this all called up. Now, Gracie, you're going to have to wait for food. We're going to play a song for about 20 minutes, and then I'll come feed you. But you're going to have to wait. All right. Sorry, Grace wants dinner. She had dinner, but she thinks she hasn't. So. All right. Here we go. Sorry, folks. take. Okay, there's intermission. Howdy, folks. That was our show. I'm tired.
That's it.
I am tired.
My camera is playing games with me. It's just here to mess with Charlie at this point. I'm pretty sure.
Well, thank you so much for coming to our birthday, everyone. We appreciate it. It was a lot of fun, even with the problems. And we're going to be back next week to continue with year 5, believe it or not. That's crazy. Crazy that we're starting the 5th year of this stuff.
So let us know in the comments if we should keep doing this. Yeah. Much love.
All right, folks. Well, thank you once again for coming. If you liked what you heard, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the links with your friends. All of that really helps us out. And if you feel like giving us a birthday present, you can go to streamlabs.com/atomicanniemusic/tip, or you can go to atomicannierock.bandcamp.com to purchase final versions of everything. And what else is there? There's a subscribe star that I can't remember right now. And
I think it's Atomic Annie Music.
Yeah.
It'll have our logo and our artwork on it.
But yeah, I am beat. So we're going to call it a night. We love you, folks. Thanks once again for coming. Have a great weekend. Hug your family, and we'll see you next week.
Indeed. Good night.